So what happens with number one? Who does he look up to? Okay. That's that's pretty telling. How much is enough? How many clothes, how much jewelry, how many shoes is enough? It's never enough because that desire is in you. Okay? So I'm not saying go home and give everything away. What I'm saying is sometimes we could take this outfit that I haven't worn in a year and give it to charity. Or instead of me buying a new pair of shoes that I probably would wear once a month, maybe I take that money and buy food for the Man of Food Bank. You have a question? I didn't pay $970 for my first car. Y'all are really paying attention in graphics class. That's what I'm saying. How many of you ever have had a cup of soda out of a styrofoam cup, or taken something home from a restaurant in a styrofoam container? Those things were invented by a man called John Huntsman. Have y'all ever heard that name? Okay. That man is worth enough to fix probably some of our budget in the United States. He's worth in the billions. For making something that's going to be in our landfill for the next, I don't know, 50 years, which is fine. Capitalism at work. However, he got to a certain point and he asked himself the question, how much is enough? And he realized that his children didn't know what it meant to work. They had no idea the amount of work that it took him to get where he was. So he decided to write a new will. His children weren't going to get any of his money. He opened the Huntsman Center, Cancer Research Center. And he is currently using every bit of his billions and billions of dollars, and I can't remember the number of billions, to fund cancer research. He said, I have enough. He keeps enough back for him and his wife to live comfortably, not with many, many homes and mansions and cars, but enough to live comfortably. Probably better than I live, which would be, for me, like, woohoo, you know. But enough to live comfortably, and he gives everything else to cancer research. He's an incredible man. I don't know the state of his heart as far as being a Christian. I don't know that. However, I know that he is trying to do good. Somewhere his conscience got a hold of him, and he said, how hard do I keep working and sacrifice my time with my wife and kids? And he did this. So we're going to go on and talk about, let me see if this little thingy works. Maybe. Okay, who's that? P. Diddy. And even I know who he is. Except he was called Puff Daddy when I was in college, and now he's Diddy. I don't understand that. Is he rich or poor? He's pretty loaded. He has his own clothing line. He has a TV show. He's got his own rap empire thingy that I don't understand the words to. Does he use his money for good or not, do you think? Probably not so much good. Okay. Who's that? Bill Gates. Is he rich or poor? Is he real? He's one of the richest men in the world. He looks poor. Does he do good things with his money? He has a what? Did you say a gay foundation? Oh, I thought you said a gay foundation. I was like, well, maybe that's not so good. Okay, so he does use his money for good sometimes. He has like, I don't know, 8 or 9 homes, mansions. I mean, that's his. So, I'll be honest with you. Growing up, or when I was a new Christian, I didn't quite understand. The general gist of this story I got was rich guy goes to hell, poor guy goes to heaven, so thus we should never be rich. No. But that the guy was in hell, and he was in being tormented, and he was hot and thirsty. And he said, all I want you to do, Abraham, is to allow the touch of a finger, just to give me just one drop of water, just one drop of water. So this man who had everything that he could possibly want on earth had nothing and was dying. Well, he was dead, but he was tormented. And then you got Lazarus, and my Bible is not real clear if it's the same Lazarus, if it's a different Lazarus. They don't give Lazarus' last name. He's not Lazarus Smith, and the other one's Lazarus Johnson. He's just Lazarus. So we don't know if they're the same or if they're different. So I don't know if the other adults in the room have any thoughts on that, but my Bible says it's not clear. The name is the same. We don't hear any other story about Lazarus, the one who rose from the dead, that Jesus wakened from the dead. We don't know anything more except that he was Mary and Martha's brother. I don't know that he was ever a beggar. It seems that Mary and Martha were fairly wealthy. They entertained a lot of Jesus' friends. I don't know. They never mentioned Lazarus being a beggar. However, I could be wrong. So, but Lazarus, this Lazarus, laid at the rich man's gates, begging for food. And this man ate well. The rich man ate well. And probably threw out a lot of food. Begging for food. Would have taken the rich man 2 seconds to say, hey, servant boy. He wouldn't even have to do it himself. Hey, servant boy, take this plate of leftover food and run it down to the guy at the gate. He's hungry. Hey, I'm not going to use this cloak again. It doesn't really match my eyes. And so just run it down to the man. He's cold. Give him my cloak. He wouldn't even have to do the walk-in himself. Every day, though he left his house, he had to pass by this poor man. And what did y'all remember what the Bible said happened to this poor man laying on the side of the road? It's kind of gross. The dogs licked his sores. That's terrible. I don't care what you hear. Dogs' mouths are not clean. Cleaner than humans, but they still lick each other's behinds. So, I am not wanting him to lick any sores that I've got. Yeah, okay. So, we can stop there. We all know it's gross. So, okay, we talked about what do you have? Do you have iPods and cell phones? Why did this rich man and why do we seek to possess so many things? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Human nature. Okay. Anybody else? We like to fit in. Yes, ma'am. We like to base our self-worth. That's right. That's good. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Yeah. If you're moral